You guys a little tour of the house. It's a 4-bedroom, 2 bath with a nice patio outside. So new listing in Westchester. I'm going to give you guys a little tour of the house. It's a 4-bedroom, 2 bath with a nice patio outside. So new listing in Westchester. I'm going to give you guys a little tour of the house. It's a 4-bedroom, 2 bath with a nice patio outside. So new listing in Westchester.
Okay, what's going on? This is your girl Shay. Thank you for hitting the button play. I have a guest online with me tonight. Miss Maria is a realtor in Florida. Maria, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let me make sure my volume up. Okay, hold on, y'all. Those of y'all that are in here, don't be shy. Say hello. It says it has 4 people in here. I don't know who those 4 people are, but try this way because I got some stuff y'all don't need to see. But Maria, go on and talk to him and just tell him a little bit about yourself. Y'all recently know that I just got my license, and I've been following Maria for a while. She has a nice platform on Instagram. Very cute platform also. Like you busy, like you're making money. So that's the biggest thing. Just introduce you.
I'm working.
You working. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how long have you been in real estate? And
yeah, correct. So I've been doing real estate now. It's going to be 1.5 years. So February was a full year. Before doing real estate, I was actually in the hospitality industry. You know, you are from Florida, so you're either a server, bartender, working on a cruise line, or something in regards to that sort. So I did the whole restaurant thing for a while, went through college with it, and I got tired of it. You know, I was just like, no, I'm exhausted. This is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. Let me find something that, you know, I could kind of learn the ropes to later down in line, because my goal is to invest in real estate, right? I don't intentionally just want to be a realtor and just do buyers or sellers. My end goal is to become, you know, an investor and start acquiring properties for myself to build my own little portfolio. So what better route than actually, you know, understanding real estate? So I decided to do the jump, like I said, 1.5 years ago, and thankfully I'm in the South Florida market, so I do Miami, Broward, all the way up to West Palm Beach. That's kind of like my area. But my main focus is Miami and Broward.
Okay. Now, the home that I showed in the intro was a beautiful home that she is a listing agent over in Winchester, Florida. So go check that out on her Instagram. I'm definitely going to flood this whole video in the description and comment section with everything that somebody can contact you with. So maybe you can get some leads, okay? Because I know a bunch of truckers do watch my channel. I know some of my people do live in Florida or go in and out of Florida. So what would you have to say is a challenge?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can put, I guess you
what can you say can be
if they have any questions in regards to the South Florida market, I would say you put my, you know, you have my information. I guess put it on your link on your YouTube channel and have them reach out to me, and I'll be more than glad to guide them through or answer any other questions that they might have.
Okay. What can you say is a challenge being a realtor in your area? Because you know Florida is a flood zone. So do you? That's just my own personal question. That's my personal question because it's different from Texas. Okay.
Yeah, I guess us Floridians, we're kind of used to it. We're in some way kind of used to the flood zones, and not all of Florida actually is considered to be flood zone. If it is, if you're, let's say, if you do buy a property that's in the flood zone, you do have to have an extra insurance just for that. so it would be, your mortgage payment would be a couple $100 more. But I feel like it's, you're used to it. We've been through hurricanes left and right every year. So it's not really like a crazy thing to us. But I guess the challenge is, what I would say is that there's actually a lot of competition in regards to real estate agents. There's a lot of realtors in South Florida, a lot. So you have a lot of competition. You have to make sure that if you do become a realtor in South Florida, you distinguish yourself in the service that you provide to, either your buyer or your seller.
Okay. Do you do both? Do you have experience in both, in buying and selling, or just selling is just what you just normally, that's your lane?
No, so I do both. I work with first-time home buyers, which in that end would be, a buyer's agent, or I help out also. I sell, you want to sell your home and you're interested in getting an estimate on what the property's worth. We'll put the property for sale. We'll do the whole marketing. And I specialize in sellers as well. So both. I have like a little, that's who I work with, both buyers and sellers.
Okay.
And actually, I do have, the thing about real estate is that you have so much opportunity. It's not just one field, you don't only have to work with buyers. I mean, I have a listing also, I didn't send it over to you, but it's a restaurant. So I'm doing commercial as well. I actually have a commercial contract.
Wow, that's dope.
It's a standalone building.
That's dope.
Supposed to close that in a month in October, at the end of October. So I would say just specialize in everything or learn as much as you can in the whole aspect of real estate, not just one.
So you're doing everything. So y'all hear that? Okay. Maria is experienced in residential and in commercial buying and selling. Okay, that's dope. That's so dope. Let me ask you this. You mentioned commercial because commercial side is so much more male dominant. Do you think that you face any real problems for being a woman alone just on the commercial side of real estate? Because I know that side is extremely more aggressive.
Correct. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is extremely more male dominant. I guess there's an advantage and a disadvantage to it. Definitely when you show up, they'll kind of take a look and you're like, really? And I'm also young too. I'm 28. So they'll say, oh, it's a woman and it's a young realtor. Like they'll throw the cards there. Oh, I've been doing this for 20 or 30 years, longer than you've probably been born. But at the end of the day, all you want to do is close the transaction. You don't really care how long you've been in the market for. If both your buyer and the seller come into an agreement that you guys can both make the transaction work, who cares? But it's definitely, I do see it. The benefit of it, though, I will tell you, the benefit of doing commercial is that there's not so much emotion in the transaction with both, with the buyers and the sellers. With a commercial, is more kind of like, okay, does the numbers make sense? Is this something that fits my business? Is this something that I can see myself in it? And if it doesn't make sense business-wise, they leave it alone. There's no back and forth or like, oh, I need this, I need that. It doesn't happen. You take the property as is completely. You want it, awesome. If you don't, they don't care. Like, they do not care. And in a way, it's nice because you don't have that buyer seller calling you 24/7, saying, hey, what's going on with this? With the regular traditional with buyers and sellers, you have more emotions. There's more people, they're attached to their emotionally with their property, or with a buyer. If they're a first-time home buyer, a lot of them, it's their first transaction. They haven't gone through it. They don't know what to expect. So there's a lot of emotions involved with both parties.
Okay. Do you think on the commercial side, since we're on the commercial topic, do you think that it's a lot more easier money because there's lesser emotion? Do you think that it's a lot easier for you to get to closing than dealing with the residential side? Because I know on the residential side, a lending company can tell you all day long, we got you, we got you, we got you, we're going to get it closed, and then they'll up and say, oh, we can't do it. You feel me? And you spent all that time, invested all that time with your client, and they got all excited looking at furniture, moving, and all that old kind of stuff. So, do you think it's a lot easier to get to?
I think it has to do a little bit. Yeah, I think it has to do. It's a great point, but I do think it has to do a lot with, I guess, the lender and what it. For example, the transaction I'm working now, the commercial deal, is an all-cash deal. So that even makes it so much easier because there's no finance contingencies at all. It's, this is the price that they accepted, and all that we have to do is just make sure title's clean, there's no liens, there's no violations, that the property is able to be used. We just make sure that the city has everything in order. So that's an easier transaction when you have this a cash deal, it's a cash buyer. With finance, I mean, it could happen both ways. I can probably get a buyer who's fine. And right now with commercials, I will tell you, because of the whole COVID, that's what's going on. The banks are being a little bit more strict on who they lend to, and more when it has to do with commercial. They want to make sure, let's say, for example, a restaurant, if they're going to lend you money to open up a restaurant, nowadays they want to make sure that you actually are knowledgeable and know what you're doing. They're not just going to give out any type of loan to just, any random person walking into the bank because he wants to just randomly open up a restaurant. So they're a little bit more strict on who they lend to on the commercial side.
Okay. Lockout Men, this is Miss Maria. She is a realtor from Florida. Okay. Can y'all hear us? Juwan, Rashid, and Lockout Man, can y'all hear her? Let me know if y'all can hear her, because she's dropping some real jewels right now. I don't want y'all to miss out on that. What else was I going to say? What else? Was it very hard for you to get to your first closing? That's going to be one of my biggest things getting started in September.
Was it your questions? So my first closing, it was my boyfriend's cousin. So when you are getting into real estate, I guess my first tip that I would give out to everybody is your circle, right? Hit up all of your friends, hit up your family members. Let them know that you are getting into real estate, that this is going to be your career path, that this is what you are working to do. Let them know that you're working, and to keep you in mind if for any reason they want to sell or buy. So my first deal was a family member. And then from there, it was just me working some rentals. Everything was flipped like word of mouth. And I am to the point that I am now, thankfully, because of the relationships that I've built with my past clients, which I say is super important. Relationships is everything in this world. Everything. No matter what. Like, if there's something that anybody needs to take out of this call, it's just making sure you build genuine relationships with other people.
Okay. What else did I want to tell you? Because I know Florida's a hard market. When it comes towards the insurance,
I mean, I'll tell you a little bit about the market now. How it is, if you want.
I mean, go ahead. I mean, this is your platform tonight, So this is all about helping promote you, and you getting on, showing love, and getting on my platform. So this is what it's all about.
How the current market is now in Florida. Again, it might be different in other different states, but in Florida, what I'm seeing is because of the low interest rates, right? We're closing people at 2.8%, 3%. Even at a 3.3, 3.4, those are very, very low rates compared to where they were a couple years ago. Now, there's a lot of buyers out in the market. Our inventory. So usually what happens, is just supply and demand. Now, there's not a lot of inventory, all these buyers are putting in offers into the same property, so there's so much competition. People are putting in over asking on offers. So it's an interesting market that we're in, because I guess the whole thing pre-COVID, a lot of people thought, oh, you know, this whole buyers is going to kind of have the houses drop, you know, the prices of the homes are going to drop, and it hasn't. If anything, it's gotten them higher. Like in my opinion, in my market.
Well, Florida is a higher market than Texas, period. You know what I'm saying? Just what it is. You know, you get more bang for your buck here in Texas. But I love Florida. I love
Texas,
Tampa and Miami.
There's a lot of people that moved to Texas. I think Texas and Florida were one of the first states, the main states that people were actually moving into. Moving from either like California or New York.
I'm still trying to change a thing here. Hold on. It probably won't let me do it until after I get off the live. What's going on, Southside the Trucker? What's going on, sweetheart? We are on live tonight with Miss Maria. She is a Florida realtor. Okay. Do you mainly work out of Winchester, Florida, or do you do Miami and Tampa also?
So I do Miami. Tampa's a little far from me. Tampa's around like 4 hours away from where I live. But I usually, anywhere from Miami. Winchester's just a little city I work, you know, this house was in, but my office is in Doral. I mean, I can specialize Coral Gables, South Miami, Coconut Grove, Broward, Fort Lauderdale, Las Olas. I mean, you name it. That's in somewhat liable for me to drive to. You know, it doesn't make sense to me to drive all the way to Tampa, which is a 4-hour drive. I would have to, in that case, send it over, refer it to an agent that works in that area.
And you just get you a little maybe referral bonus, maybe. Like
exactly.
Yeah, you get the little referral.
So that's what you do. You just refer out to. It's the same thing over Orlando. Let's say if I had a client that was looking to buy in Orlando, but I had the lead, I would refer it to someone who lives up in Orlando.
Okay. What else did I want to say?
You know, it knows the area, knows the market better than I do. Or Orlando for me right now is like 4.5 hours away, so it doesn't make sense for me to drive up there.
Back to the insurance, because you know Florida is a flood and hurricane state. Do you think that sometimes, have you ever had somebody walk away from a deal because a house was in a certain location and the insurance was just too much for them? Have you ever experienced that yet, where it's like, oh, the insurance is just too much?
I mean, I've had clients, I have clients walk away more, let's say, with regards to the taxes, like how much, the property taxes are. Another thing is like the conditions of the home, like after we do an inspection, let's say if something comes up because of the roof. This is one of the main reasons that people back off in offers is because the conditions of the roof. The roof is usually one of the main things that it costs a lot of money to fix. Yes. Right? It's one of the main expenses that if you have to redo your whole roof, you're going to drop some money to get that fixed. Right? Depending on the roof too now, we're talking about, is it shingles? Is it tile? So people back out because they don't want to get into a property that, that you're going to have to now spend $25,000 on a brand new roof. Because, and another thing is insurance companies won't insure you if you have, let's say, a leakage or if the roof is messed up. So now you have an issue at closing. If your insurance doesn't want to insure you because of your roof, that deal is over.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So you can't purchase a property finance without insurance on the home.
I can imagine that makes them walk away, because Florida is one of those hot, and Florida is a beautiful state. I love Miami. Whenever I ever gotten off and gone to Miami, but I could just imagine owning a home there, and you want to be right by the beach, but being right by the beach is like a dangerous thing. You know what I'm saying? because it's gonna make your insurance go like an extra $400 a month or something. You know what I'm saying? Every penny counts, especially if you're trying to build and have a family. Your insurance will be
higher if you're in a condo right next to, you know, a flood zone and the beach, for sure.
Yeah,
your insurance is gonna be a little bit higher.
Yeah. What else did I want to ask you? Are there particular lenders that you just stay away from, that you don't mind calling out, that service Florida? That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one.
Not at a right. There's some that I told my girlfriend the other day. I was like, I'm gonna start making an Excel sheet, and we're gonna put, you know, together a file of people who we've tried to do deals with and it doesn't work with, or because last minute, you know, they just don't know how to do the loan. Now, usually 99% of the time, I stick with my lender, who I work with, who I made my relationship with, who I trust, and I can call at any time of the day and bother that person any time of the day and let them know, hey, this is what's up, this is what they need. And he's very transparent, very straightforward. If he qualifies, he tells me he qualifies. If he does not qualify, he'll tell me straight up, it's not going to happen. So I'd rather work with people like that tell me up, you know, from the beginning, from the start, hey, this person does not qualify, than have me and that person waste their time and their effort to try to look, because it takes a while.
Yeah, it does.
A while to get, you know, to look for a property.
Yes.
And then get under contract, and then 10 days before closing, the lender calls you and tells you, hey, you know what, unfortunately, he doesn't qualify. So I'd rather not go through that at all. Like I said, I stick with one lender. Another thing is for people who are starting in real estate, another tip I would give out is make sure you work with a lender that you trust, and make a relationship with that person, you know, because it's super important. You don't want your files, your deals to be going to different people. You want to keep everything in-house to make sure you are able to run everything.
So do you deal with a lot of FHA in the Florida market, there? Because Miami is a hot and expensive place. FHA.
Yeah. So I do. A lot of the FHA is, well, an FHA loan, you know, for first-time home buyers, it habilitates those people to go in with a lower down payment. You can go in at 3.5% down. So I do work with a lot of FHA buyers. FHA and conventional. I did a VA loan for a veteran that I closed in March or February. Yeah, it was before the whole COVID thing happened. So I closed a veteran loan as well. So I've worked with those three. They're very simple, very similar. There's just the difference between FHA and conventional is really if you're going to go in at 3.5% or if you're going at 5%. If you're going conventional, usually means that would either be your second property that you're buying as an investment, or with FHA you get better rates too, and people are taking advantage of that situation that you get very, very low rates with
do you see a lot of FHA? Because Miami is an expensive market.
Everyone's situation is different, you know.
Do you see a lot of FHA? What balance out more? Do you do more conventional than you do FHA, or do you do more FHA? Because Miami is such a hot market. It's such an expensive market.
Yeah. Truthfully, I've done a lot of FHA. There's a lot of FHA loans that I've done. A lot. I've done more FHA than conventional.
Okay. But I was going to ask you, did you ever want to go forward and maybe become your own broker? Is that something that you want to do in the future?
Truthfully, I've thought about it, but that's not the goal that I want to, or I see myself doing. I don't want to, I feel like there's a lot of liability in there. I prefer to work under a brokerage. I get my, you know, my commission. Another thing is that here, I guess there's a lot of brokerages out here in South Florida that you're able to negotiate your commission. So, you know, with where I'm at now, thankfully, I'm happy. And I don't see the need to be a brokerage because, like I said, my plan is to to investment and live, do that and focus on the investment side of the real estate, not so much on the residential and having people, because that's, you need a big team to kind of lead, and it's just another industry that doesn't catch my attention. Just leave it as that.
Too much for you. What else did I want to? What are your top 3 things? What are your top 3 things that a person needs to do before they go looking for a house or get themselves in prepareship for home ownership?
So the first would be one, get in touch with a lender, right, and get your numbers just to make sure all your numbers are correct. Have them pre-approve you. Have them analyze what your credit score. Take a look at your W-2. Take a look at your tax returns, your bank statements. So lender would be one thing. Get in contact with a realtor who you trust. Who or maybe you were referred to by somebody. So lender, realtor, and I guess the third thing, if you're going to purchase, just make sure you have some cash saved, some funds saved on the side, because it's a big purchase. So you are gonna need, I guess in Florida, like you're not gonna be able to purchase a house just with $5,000. Like you have to have, your down payment. You have to have some covered closing costs. So having money on the side would be something. The third very important thing.
Okay. Let me see. What else did I want to ask you? Do you help people improve their credit? Is that something that you also add on to your expertise, or do you just strict basically with the buying and the selling?
No, so I help whoever I'm working with as a buyer, with a client. If I don't just throw them away, I just don't work with only qualified people. Let's say for some reason you do not qualify at the moment that we're looking for because of your credit, I'll put you in contact with somebody who will help you get your credit up. So it's the same thing with that. I don't like being that realtor that just, okay, if you can't buy now, then I don't want to work with you. No, I've worked, some of the rentals that I closed with, they were rentals, some of the sales that I've closed with, they were rentals before. And they weren't able to qualify, a year and a half ago. But I was able to guide them through it. I was able to tell them, hey, you know what, this is where you need your credit score to be at. This is how much money you need to save. And one of my really, really good, she became one of my really good friends. She just closed on her home. She's a single mom, 2 kids. She was renting, and she wasn't able to buy because her credit score, and now she's a homeowner. So,
what else I want to ask you? How is the short sale in Florida? Because I know there's a difference between the short sale process in Texas and Florida. Have you had those kind of deals yet?
Yeah.
Just break down a little bit of that process. Just a small.
So with the short sales,
yes.
So with the short sales, a little bit different. Obviously, short sale, there has to be the seller to do a short sale on the property needs to either be underwater, right? Needs to owe more on the home than what the property actually is worth. The seller also needs to be in what's called either distress. They have to, either be going through, let's say, a divorce, or maybe a family member passed away or they lost their job. You just can't do a short sale because you want to do a short sale because maybe you took equity in the house and now you don't want to pay it back. No, you have to be going through something to show have the bank accept you into doing the short sale. At the moment, currently in Florida, because of the whole coronavirus, it did make a stop on the short sales on the court to go forward with the pre-foreclosures and all that process. So I'm guessing we're going to start seeing them a little bit more towards the end of the year. So we'll see more of what the short sales, the the REOs, which is the bank-owned properties, towards the end of the year, just because a lot of them are being giving an extension of time from the courts. They're not kicking people out,
Okay, so they're trying to help folks. Okay, that's better than Texas. But Texas, they're not trying to help people.
Yeah.
They're just kicking people out. they just evicting people and putting people in foreclosures. They're not. Texas is not giving them much help on
Really?
it. They're
No,
not.
Florida's
They're not.
process.
Look at. Go on
There's a process in
Google.
Florida that needs to be
Go
done
on
before you evict somebody.
Google. Watch it
Florida's
on
a very
YouTube.
free tenant. You know, they just can't just kick you out of nowhere. So.
What else did I want to ask you? Since you're in the Florida market, I know it was on the tip of my tongue that I was going to ask you. Well, I'm gonna ask you this: how do you feel about when it comes towards the competition with other realtors in your office? Do you feel like that you're not ever snatched from deals? Do you feel like, do you make enough money? Of course.
Truthfully, with that, I feel like there's a lot of the deals that you work with are your own deals. I've never had an issue, not even in my office or with any of my group members that if anything, let's say if I'm too overwhelmed, I'll sometimes hand off, something like a lead to somebody and tell them, hey, help me out on this one, show this property, and if it works out, then we'll work it, we'll split it, or we'll work it out. So I don't find that. I do see that there's a lot of realtors in there. Like I said, there's a lot of competition. Some of them don't really do their work 100% of how they should. So the buyers and the sellers does tend to sometimes leave that realtor and work with other realtors. So there's not much loyalty in there. That's why you have to, again, go back in just with the relationship. You have to make that relationship in the beginning with your buyer and your seller to have them feel comfortable to work with you, because there's a lot of competition. There's 100 other realtors in Miami. They can literally pick up the phone and call somebody else. So I feel like it's on you to get your thing, get everything situated. It's on you to make sure that your buyer or seller doesn't leave.
Are you guys hearing us? Because they're not really responding. Hold on just a second. Okay. We're 32 minutes in.
All right, my love. Let me know if you have any questions. I told you my grandmother's birthday, so I have to go have dinner with them right now.
We're about to wrap things up. Is anything else that you want to give a person that may be looking to getting into a home into the Florida area, any state? What advice do you want to give them? Or we're just gonna wrap this up. And I will leave Miss Maria's information down below, her Instagram, and anything else that she can send me, I will send it out to you. So, Maria, anything else you want to tell a person that's into moving to the Florida market? What is the first thing that comes to mind?
No, I mean, if you want to move to the Florida market, all I say is, there's room for everybody. You just have to be a hard worker. And really, my thing is, it's all about the client. It's all about the person. Don't try to be so greedy, right? When you start getting greedy because of what you're making, everything's just going to go south from there. So just do your, just work hard, hustle, keep a good mindset, keep a good heart, and you'll do fine. You'll do good.
Okay. Well, that's it, y'all. Thanks, Maria, for coming and chatting tonight. She is in the Miami,
You're welcome,
Florida.
Absolutely.
So, Shape for a family, go over there and show some love.
Like I said, you guys, send my info over.
Okay. But her name again, her Instagram name is Maria.Neto, Nieto .realestate_. Okay. So she is in the Miami area. Y'all know y'all love going to Miami. You love visiting Miami. So go over there and holler at your girl. You want to get your second condominium. Thinking about moving out there. Then go and holler at your girl. She knows what she's doing. She's done everything almost, pretty much. We got residential. We got commercial going on. So she really knows her stuff. You will be taken care of, okay? This is your girl, Shape. Good night, y'all.